Hello, everyone, and welcome. Thanks for joining us. Just wanted to talk about moving the Bronx Senate. So I want to thank you all who took the time to fill out the survey to give us information so that we can create a video that we hope that you will love and cherish. So you all gave me a lot of insight to create a online live event so that you can get as much information as you possibly can. And from the emails y'all been sending me, some of y'all need to know a lot. Kind of make that jump, and I want to introduce you to some wonderful ladies that have helped me pull this together. And Erika, you want to tell where you're from? All that good stuff? Oh, wait, I can't hear you. What happened?
Oh, that was because I have my camera mute. Such a rookie move. Hey guys, I'm Erika. I was born in Guyana, which is in South America, because I won't confuse it for Ghana.
What about you, Kia?
Okay, hi, I'm Kia. I'm from New York City. I've lived in Australia, New Zealand, and I go back and forth between Portugal and Spain now.
Awesome. And guys, you know, I'm Cinnamon. I'm from Washington, D.C., and I live in Lisbon, Portugal. Hey, Michael, thanks for joining us. So basically, we're going to talk about kind of the breakdown of how the summit will work. But in addition to that, we're going to talk about the main thing that if you are planning on moving abroad, regardless of what country you are going to, some things you really needed to consider, that main thing, and that's making, in my opinion, online income. And you can do that in a variety of different ways. There's not just one way to make online income. Hey, Paula. Hey, Jen. There's not one way to make online income, but we really want to stress the importance of it, particularly what's going to go on in the economy. And you can find that whatever you do, even with COVID, a lot of things have been transitioned online. But particularly, Erika and I are going to talk about the importance of establishing your own website so that you have control of the money you make, instead of kind of being dependent on other social media platforms or that type of thing. So we could talk about why that's important.
Right. I think a lot of times we don't realize that we need an online presence. You know, we think just having a social media account, like that's it. That's all we need. But we need to realize social media is mainly for our friends and family. You know, initially when we create that social media account, our friends and family are going to follow us. So we have to do the work to actually get outside people, you know, to come to our social media and know our business. And just having your website, you know, at any moment, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, hopefully not YouTube, Twitter, any moment, these companies can go down. Look at TikTok, you know, when that almost got banned in the US as it is in India. So it's important to have your own website. That means your own domain name and have your own online presence where you know it can't be taken down. So I know we'll elaborate a little bit more.
Yeah. So I want to talk things. Many of you know, put your shirt up. Let everybody know you got on the shirt.
I'm not naked, people. Okay, let me just back up.
This is what I want you all to consider. So I'm going to talk to you in digital marketing terminology. What you have to consider is that your website is basically your home. That's what you own. And your social media channels or all those things are simply distribution. Okay. So just like if you were a recording artist, you would want your album or your music to be played on various radio stations. So you want your message or your brand or your business information to be on various distribution channels because you have the ability to reach more people. Okay. So you want to bring those people off of those distribution channels and back to something that you own, because you are only able to capture the back end of what's necessary to continue to market to those people. So again, folks, we're about to go through a global recession. And in a minute, I'll do a webinar on how to prepare your business if you are an entrepreneur. Okay. But we're about to go through a global recession. And so what that means is, in my opinion, I feel like we may possibly go back to more of an individualized economy. And so if you're a US citizen, just remember that that's what the world was until like the Ford industrialization, when Henry Ford came and kind of made it so people had jobs and all that stuff. But to go on that, but if you were locksmith, if you were butcher, like you had these individual jobs. And I feel like with COVID, we're going to slowly kind of move to that. And you need to be able to communicate to people, regardless of what country that you are in or they are in, that they can work with you in some way. And the way to do that is being online, people. Like, I don't care what country you live in, what country you go to, you need to be online if you're a business owner. Okay. So when it comes to the message, and as far as the summit, Arika did all the branding, all the graphics, the way it looks all pretty and stuff, that is all her. And any writing that you receive came from Kia. So Kia is the brilliant mind behind the writing. And the reason why I want to bring this together is for many cases, all of us, the team that I have that helps me with my business and the team that I've met that I use for various projects, we met online, guys. Like, we met online. So you have to be online, because you're going to start to maybe go after contracts independently as a business, or, do different things and try to make money in various ways. And so having that online presence is going to be critical. And so if you struggle with that, we could talk about it so we can find out those areas. But I feel like when so many people are talking about they want to move abroad, and they're like, but I don't know what I'm gonna do for money. Listen, I don't recommend moving to a whole nother country and you don't have some side income. Okay. Like I told you guys before, if you have US income and the stock market is going to crash, like, let's just look at the obvious. Like, people don't have jobs. Gross domestic product is going to go there just on some obvious stuff. So you need to have some way to, make money, and you need to do that online. So, Arika, tell me a little bit about your background, and you've worked with like recording artists and everything. Talk about that a little bit.
So I've been doing website and graphic design since I was 15. So I'm in my 30s. I'm not gonna say the exact age. And I've been doing this for a while. And I started out in design and doing websites at Universal Music Group, and I did websites for India.Arie, Prince, Cash Money. These are all American artists. Amy Winehouse, which is now American. So, for the most
God rest her soul.
What's that? Oh, no.
God rest her soul.
Sure. And also I worked for Campbell Soup. I did Sierra's website a couple of years ago. I worked for CoverGirl, for, I think it was Outlast lipstick when they were first introducing that. So I worked with a lot of big brands and, artists. And the most important thing was, building their online presence. And not only that, but how can they make money online? Whether you're selling their music. A lot of artists, they mainly make their money from tours. So I'll create a website where it has their, you could buy their tickets, and 90% of the time, most artists have merchandise, whether it's a button, a t-shirt, whatever it is. Even artists now, like you see artists just creating whatever product you can, because you need residual income and you need to diversify your income. So I have a lot of experience, branding and different options of, creative ways of making money online legally. So yeah, that's one of my specialty.
And Kia, tell everybody about your employment in Spain and all the various teaching and things you've been doing.
Oh yeah, so I found a program to enter into Spain where you are basically a language assistant. So they give you a stipend and you work for up to 12 hours, sometimes 16 hours in different regions. And you just basically help the teachers and the students practice English. And this is my 3rd year. So I've lived in 3 different cities and it's been pretty awesome. I do need a side hustle because it doesn't give me that much money. It just gives me enough to pay for rent and some food and my bills and things like that. But extra income, no. So writing has definitely kept me afloat these past 3 years.
Mm-hmm. And so, guys, what I want you to consider is whatever you are doing in whatever country you're in, whether you want to expand that online, or if you want to do something different, or you want to go into digital marketing, whatever it is, I really encourage this. And I want you to think of things like some people talk about they want to create a YouTube channel for extra money. And that's great. But let me tell you about when people use the word passive income, it bothers me a bit because it's kind of a joke. I mean, when most people scream passive income, the word passive means you don't do anything, basically. And that's not how this thing works at all. It's a lot of work. So understand when you're working and trying to put your brand outline, you are now working for a computer, okay? And that computer is the algorithm. So most algorithms, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Instagram, whether it's YouTube, whatever it is, it rewards people who get engaging content, meaning people are engaging with it, in addition to consistency. So if you start putting content and then you stop, you are telling the algorithm that they need to stop paying attention to you. And so when the algorithm stops paying attention to you, then you have to basically start all the way from ground zero and work on building back up that momentum. You have to remember that all of these online platforms, their whole goal is to make money and sell advertising. So if you continue to produce new content, they will continue to push you in front of more people because you show them that you produce new content. They don't want to put new ads on old content. So if you continue to produce new content, they'll continue to show you out there. So again, that's work though. So for those of you who reached out to me and said you wanted to create a YouTube channel, I definitely agree that you should, particularly if you are moving to another country, because it can be a great side income. And for those of you who already live outside of the US, I mean, YouTube can pay your rent in various countries. But you have to play, unfortunately, to a US audience or a UK audience. And I'm saying that because advertisers pay more for that audience. I'm in digital marketing. I'm not pulling this out my ass. And this is real stuff. They pay more for a US and a UK audience because we are more likely to go online and go buy something because of something we saw online. So even if you live in Portugal, or if you live in Spain, whatever content you're going to create on YouTube, if you're trying to make it income, just consider, a UK, US market, because you'll be able to get paid substantially more. So I hope that makes sense. Introduction. Hold on. I'm reading some questions, guys. I hope that, are we making sense in regards to if someone has a business right now and they're curious how to make it digital, go ahead and put it in the comments and we'll try to kind of help you out with that. But the main thing I want people to consider, guys, I try to be extremely transparent with you. This moving abroad thing, although it may sound glamorous, there's some stuff with it. Okay. You have to research. And some of you all will ask me questions and send me emails. And I didn't come here and retire, y'all. Like, I still work. So I don't have time to answer everyone's question. But some of the things just are in Google, and if you don't want to Google, you should not move abroad, because when you leave the country, it gets more difficult.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Anybody want to add to that? I'm going to go through these questions really quickly.
Okay. So for me, I grew up hearing Spanish and Italian, but I don't speak it fluently. So I've had to learn Spanish as an adult, and it's been so confusing for me, especially when I have to go to the government offices. There's some points where I have to bring a native speaker with me. And I spent hours and hours online researching what I need to do, whether I have help or not. So it's been my best resource if I'm not going to other forums to find information. Like, you have to find your information online. And then when you get to the offices, most of the time it's in paper form. So you just really have to be a good researcher.
Okay, so Galen asks this question of, wrong one. Can you speak about health insurance in Spain as a non-citizen? So the health insurance in most countries, you need to apply for health insurance with every country in order to even get your visa. So again, guys, we're doing the Moving Abroad Summit, shameless plug, because some of you all have questions that you have to get deeper into. And we encourage everyone to Attend the Moving Abroad Summit. The link is in the description. Registration is free. For those of you who are just toying with the idea, we have a bunch of discussions that we're going to talk about on what you need to know, what you should consider, what you should do the first month, first week you're there. And for those who are like really getting ready to move abroad and they're like, look, I'm ready, you might want to consider upgrading your ticket so that you can get into the breakout sessions and the networking sessions. And that's when we get into the nitty gritty for those people at an advanced level, like they ready to go. If you just like, oh, moving abroad sound kind of cute, then you want to just, do the general session. But if you're like, look, let's do this, then, definitely considering upgrading. But Kia, talk about the health insurance in Spain for a little bit, but your situation is different because you work for the government.
I'm sponsored through an employer, so I don't pay for my health insurance and I have really good health insurance. So I'm really happy about that. When it does lapse, I only get charged about 60 euros a month for more than basic health insurance. Like Cinnamon said, you do need to apply for health insurance even when you're applying for your visa. So that's the first step. And it also depends on what you need. So if you get public health insurance, that usually means you have a social security number. That means you're paying taxes into the system. So taxes are high in a lot of countries, but you get the money back in the form of social services. So
you get to be part of social services if you're not a citizen yet?
It depends because they have the different visas. You have the long term, you have one if you're married, you have if you're a freelancer, it just really depends. But you can pay into the social security system if you're not a citizen.
Okay. Oh, that's
interesting. You can do that in Spain. I don't know about other countries.
Okay.
So you can get a social security number at some point.
Okay, so hopefully, Galen, we answered that question. Do the three of you have online business and how are you doing with it? So yeah, Kia hasn't yet, but trust and believe me and Eric are gonna get on her and she's gonna have her own.
I freelance, but it's sporadically. I did have a travel business when I lived in Australia, but I didn't know how to market myself then. And I also, I didn't understand the time zones difference. So I had a US market and I was living in Australia and I just couldn't keep up with the hours and working my regular job in Australia. So that business failed, basically. I just broke even and it wasn't worth the amount of time I was putting into it. And now I just basically write for whoever needs me to write. I'll do it.
So we're going to get her set up, but my business has been online for decades. So yes, I do have an online business. I have a couple of them. And Erika, you want to talk to your experience?
I think I've been online forever too. So mainly mine is website and graphic design and branding. So I'm a freelancer here in New York, New Jersey. But even when I came to this country, I learned the computer at a young age. And, I spent some time in Canada, a couple months in Canada. And even then, I still freelanced. I was doing website for people in the US while I was in Canada for a couple of months because, and I think freelancing allowed me to move around and it's digital. So I could do graphic design and website design and branding anywhere. So yeah, that's my online business and I'm a freelancer for different companies and I have contracts. So that works pretty well for me.
So guys, what you're going to have to consider soon is you're going to have to open yourself up to a global market. You're going to have to consider that you are not just doing business with people who live in your city and town or even in your country. You want to be open to doing business with people who live whoever. And if you are not online, if you don't have any way to show people what you do or what value you can bring to their business, you're going to struggle. And I don't want to see anybody ever this channel like struggling, especially when we can prepare. A lot of times people move out of the country to, find safety or, reduce cost or get some relaxation or whatever the thing is. But if you're a U.S. citizen and your retirement is directly connected to the stock market, when things get hectic and you're in another country, again, you just really want to make sure you have something else coming in. So there's a variety of ways to do that. We're not going to speak too much of it at this point, but we just based on the feedback you all have been giving me in regards to the stress of trying to find income, is going to be digital. Everyone's asking me like, what job can I find in Portugal? And I'm like, whether it's Portugal, whether it's the US, everyone is going to need a way to make some money online. Like that's going to be critical. If whatever your profession is, for my people in the service industry, if you're a, doctor, lawyer, accountant, many of the people in the service industry can convert their knowledge and expertise into a digital product. Mm-hmm. And like I said, I don't like the word passive income because I feel like people think that you could just do it and it just you don't have to do nothing. What I prefer to say is automated income. So you create a system using a series of software, and when someone purchases, they can go about their business. Okay. But you have to build all that. Nothing about that is passive. You have to build that. You have to create the product and then you sell it. And then after that, it is automated, not necessarily passive. Let's see.
Yeah, I think if you guys have any, you guys can let us know what industry you guys are in, and if you have questions on how to make money from that
industry,
then shoot us a message or put it in the comments.
So, and Yara asks, I hope I'm saying your name correctly, please make another video talking about how to market the online business to a broader audience. So that needs to be a little bit more specific. Can you type what the business is, and then we can kind of go through that with you. But the thing I want you to understand when it comes to being online, you don't want to go broad. You want to go extremely niche, okay? Because when you have a business and it's online, you have to consider SEO. This is search engine optimization. And if you feel like you want to just keep it broad, it's going to be really hard for people to find you because your content that you're putting out there is not niche specific enough so that if someone is searching for it, that they'll be able to find you. And online, there are millions and millions of websites that exist. So it's really important that you hone down on what it is you do well or the audience you are trying to market to, so that Google can say, oh, this is for this person. So for example, and let me speak quickly about those individuals who are reaching to me about doing a YouTube channel. YouTube is owned by Google. Google is the largest search engine. YouTube is the second largest search engine. So people go to YouTube and they type what they're looking for. Okay. So if you create a YouTube channel and you use titles like vlog 63, at my house, no one's gonna find that. You can't think you're going to have these creative, cute titles, even on your content, which Erika can speak to that, even on your content on your website, and someone's going to be able to find it. You have to think of who's my audience and what problem am I solving? Think of people, what is their current state and what is the future state that you can provide for them with your expertise. I hope that makes sense. So don't think broader, think more niche and narrow, because that way people can find you easier. I hope that makes sense. Can you speak? I'm using paying taxes, getting healthcare services as a...
You're jealous.
Can you speak about how you got into your business areas? Okay, how did you get into your business area, Erika?
For me, I think when I first came to America, I'm coming from South America where it's like, we're just outside with cows and sheep. I'm not trying to put down South America, but that's life, climbing trees. And my mom actually bought us a computer at a young age because it was snowing outside. We're not used to snow and that, whole culture shock. So she brought us a computer and that was it. Like I researched everything possible. And then I started learning how to code and I just taught myself how to code. So, but I have a personality where it's like, I'm going to learn something and I'm really aggressive about whatever it is that I want to learn. And so that's how I started my career. And then I just, upgrade as I go on and keep up to date with what's happening.
For me, I was not always online. I was teaching at-risk youth, adjudicated youth, and special needs students, I don't know, maybe 25 years ago. And I was also investing in real estate. So I started investing in real estate full time. Everything was great. And then the recession of 2008, 2009 handed my ass to me. Okay. So I lost everything. Yes. Like here it was in my ass was there. Right. So I lost everything. I had to start all over. I went through like a massive depression for, I feel like it felt like 3 years. It might have been longer. And even when I was in real estate, I worked my ass off. Like I was investing property. I had a bunch of investment property. And when things went south, I remember thinking, I spent so much time, like I had no life. I didn't travel. I didn't really see the people that I love that often. And I put so much work into it and now everything's gone. And I think, that's, if you've heard me do interviews before, that is when I was like, I had associated my worth by how much money I made. So when I wasn't making any money, I hated myself. And so when it was time to kind of rebirth my life, I said, I want to be able to move around. I said travel, but I didn't really know what travel meant back then. Like I didn't really go nowhere for real. Like I may have went to the Caribbean or like kind of, but not for real. So I was like, I want to be able to travel. I want to be able to do and see whatever. So I knew that I wanted to move my business, whatever it was going to be at the time, because I didn't know anything about digital marketing. But what I told myself is I want to be independent, location independent. And so I heard about digital marketing and I was like, I'm going to learn everything I possibly can because this may allow me to work wherever I want. So that is what I did. I learned everything about digital marketing. Now, digital marketing has a lot of different components and pieces. You don't have to learn the whole shebang. You can be very good at one thing. And what I did know, regardless of what industry, if you can bring a business some customers, they will pay you for it, period. So I focused on lead generation initially for a specific industry. And Yara, that's why I was saying, don't go broad, go niche. Because if you try to say that you want to solve a business problem, you can't solve every business problem. But if let's say you want to work with real restaurant owners, after you talk to many of them, they're going to have the same type of problems. Whereas an accountant will have a completely set of different problems than a restaurant owner. So if you stay in one niche, you will know those problems and you will be more valuable because you know how to solve the problems within that industry. And because you are so valuable, you can charge more money. But those of you who are struggling, saying that you're having a hard time with people paying you what you're worth, is because you didn't show them that you were worth it.
Right.
Period. You didn't show your value, and you have to show your value. And in this economy that we're about to experience, you definitely need to do that. And Kia, you want to talk about how you got into your industry?
Oh, goodness. I've tried every industry you could think of. It feels like I've gone from retail to working in mental health and substance abuse to working in corporate and tech. And that was my last position. Now I'm teaching English, of course, but writing has always been consistent in my life. I've always been the person that everyone goes to, like, can you check this email before I send it? Or can you write this for me really fast? And it's something I've been able to do from anywhere I've ever traveled to or been. And it's something that even when I went to Australia and New Zealand, people would ask me to write for them. Businesses that didn't write well, maybe English wasn't their first language. They would ask me to look over things, or actually, I started that. I started seeing typos in people's businesses, and I would bring it up to them. So I said, I can rewrite this for you if you pay me a few dollars, So you can find money anywhere. But writing is my passion. I feel like I express myself better in the written form, and it's a way of communicating that everyone needs at some point. So it's been really helpful for me to get into this, but I want to do it in a big way now.
Okay, ZA, is there a platform for providing your services as a digital nomad? As we spoke before, Z, I'm not sure if you were here at the beginning. There are a couple platforms. I know there's Elance, if that's still again Upwork, a couple things like that, but they will,
freelancer.org.
So here's the thing. If you become dependent on any particular online website to get work, it's going to be a challenge. Like you can initially get your customers there, but you want to bring them back to your personal website because people are going to try to nickel and dime you and not really pay you what you're worth. and you're going to be struggling trying to work with a customer that doesn't want to pay anything, but wants you to commit a whole bunch of work to them. So when you create your own online platform, meaning your website, your domain, something that you own, and you use, again, the various online distribution channels to reach your audience, then you can bring them back to you, and then they pay you what you're worth. So that's a system that you create. It's not hard. It's just a little time consuming, guys. I'm not here to lie to you. If you want to make online income, all these gurus are going to try to sell you some stuff that you could do this overnight. And that's not a thing. It's not real. So there are a couple ones. But Z, I really want to encourage you that even if you go to your freelancer.coms, your upworks.com, that you go to Fiverr definitely don't be trying to pay nobody. For real.
They now have where you can charge. It's
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to encourage you to get your own online house. And so you can send people there and they can see your work and they can work with you and that type of thing. But yeah, a couple of them are freelance and upwork.com. Yeah. Okay, who we got? Also denounce. Z. Also, I denounce and reject myself in advance. You ladies are, that's so kind of you, Z. Thank you so much. Google can guide you on SEO terms. That is, Google can guide you on SEO terms. Yes, if you want to get more SEO, you can actually Google it and Google will tell you. But you definitely want to be industry specific so that you can help people find you easier. Is that a word? Did I say that right? Okay, so let's talk to Jen. Hey, Jen, that's my girl. Coach and mentor, female mindset, transformation coach in the wellness industry and business and major focus on branding. I started a website design in the online world. She does do great website design as well. And then let's see. And I have over 25 years in private and corporate sector before that. Yeah. So Jen and I know each other and Jen's been doing great things. Can you talk about the message board you use to learn, to connect with? Yeah, this seems to be, guys, again, I'm going to plug the Moving to Abroad Summit. Sign up, links in the description, go. Because this is the thing, moving abroad, it's a big thing. It's not something that someone can explain to you in a quick live. Like, you need to talk and hear perspectives from a variety of people. A lot of the people that you're going to see are people that you've seen that were interviewed, and they're going to be teaching various classes so you can really get your thing in. Again, registration is free. If you are thinking that moving abroad is just like, oh, that sounds like a cool idea, stay in that side, register, and you'll get the general session. For those of you who are more close to pulling the trigger, you want to upgrade. Okay, you want to upgrade so that you can get more of the classes and the content from our speakers, because we've been there, we're here, and it's a ton of mistakes we made. Ton of mistakes we made, but the main thing I want people to get is trying to get this online income. I'm going to be teaching some entrepreneurship courses during the summit and focus on that and developing online. But I really, really wanted people to understand that, because that's the main question I get when people are emailing me or DMing me. They're asking about how they make income. And depending on what country you're in, there's a variety of ways we can do it, and we'll spend some time on that. So talk about message boards that you have used to learn about, connect with people in foreign country experts. It's a very good question. What do you say about that, Kia? Because Kia meets all type of people.
Yeah, I'm one of those introverts that knows I need people to just exist in this world, because you need people. But you can try different forums like meetup.com. That works in pretty much every country in the world. And it's specific based on what activities you like to do. So you're less likely to get people maybe interested in dating you, and more people that you have some type of common interest with. Like, say, for example, if you like hiking, right? You can find someone who will hike with you. You can find people to cook with. You can find people who love to do brunch, you know? You can also go onto different Facebook groups. There are different travel groups geared towards people who are just like you. Could be people who are your same ethnicity, people who are your same nationality, people who have moved to the country you're interested in, and you'll find someone, either whether it's just to run ideas off of, get advice from, and also they'll have documents in those groups of, I don't know, visa applications or what process you have, and you'll be able to see it in written form as well if you're one of those people who don't like to communicate with strangers.
Mhm. And one thing I would say about the Facebook forums, it's going to take a minute for you to find one that you like. Full transparency. You may be in one and then it's like, then you may not like it and you may have to do something different, but you get to find someone and feel someone's energy and be able to connect with them. But as you approach people to get help, because we know this is a process that it's not really that clear to know how to do it, just come with a giving heart. Sometimes people are very demanding, like, how do I do this? What do I, and you got to remember to just come a little humble so that people can help you, particularly if you're working with people that aren't from your country. So your demand to need to know things may come off a little bit aggressive, and then you're going to struggle for someone to connect with you when you get into the country. And so what I want you all to remember is that you have to be resilient and you have to be a researcher, because if you are struggling in your home country trying to move somewhere else, you are going to struggle when you move to a different country. And if you feel like you're the person who won't take the initiative to Google or do those type of things, then sweetie, you got to stay where you're at. You can't go move into another country, honey. You're gonna have a hard time. Okay. So definitely consider that, guys.
And just
Go home.
to quickly add on what Kia and Cinnamon said, for me, I think I haven't moved to any country in the UK, but I've been to 17 plus countries I've traveled to, and I have friends in each and every one of those countries. So the best way I feel is to, book a trip to that country and go on a tour, go on those local tours. Airbnb you can connect with locals. You can also stay in a hostel. There's good hostel. I know it sounds bad, but there are.
I stayed in a bunch in Lisbon.
Amazing hostel. Like I was like, oh my God, this is better than hotels. But yeah, just go. Stay in a hostel. You can connect with locals easily.
Great.
I agree. Suzette, hey honey, how are you? I have a 20 experience in scripting. Yes, scripting and doing all that skills. I need to move from London and work online full time. Any good pointers? Erika, you can answer that real good.
Python, SQL, Perl.
I say that stuff. I'm like, what?
Language stuff. Which still I need to move from London and work online full time. The fact that you have all those scripting language in your pocket, I think that's amazing. So don't try to choose one. Right now, Python is actually really popular. Python and Java, SQL is not going anywhere. Perl, not so much, but I don't think you should pick a skill. What I think you should do is focus on contract work. A lot of times, no matter where you move, whatever country you move to, like if you want to do contract in US, go to LinkedIn and find those contract work, because they're willing to pay contractors a lot of money. You can make 30 grand USD a month just for contracting. The fact that they're not paying for your insurance and healthcare and all this other jibber jabber, they will pay you a good salary for a month. So I would focus on looking for contract positions wherever you move to. And
you have a particular set of skills, so you are valuable a lot of places. Okay. Yeah. You are valuable a lot of places. So you shouldn't even have, much of an issue. Also check Indeed.com and looks for some contracting experiences there. I'm not sure what your nationality is. I think Indeed is only for US. But they have it where?
We have some opportunities in Europe, I think.
Okay, perfect.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, okay. They do. And even the companies I've worked with, from SiriusXM to Fox to wherever, like they all hire contractors. It's just easier for US company to hire outside. So those jobs are available, very much so.
Okay. Then Z, what kind of profile do you need before you go digital? I don't know what you mean by go digital nomad. Do you have some kind of benchmark for how much experience, what type of qualifications? So digital nomad is not, so maybe I shouldn't have used that term, because I don't know if you're just working online. You know what I mean? So you can get contracts where you are currently that allow you to work remotely and move. So digital nomad is just, probably a buzzword I probably shouldn't use. But it's really just working online. So whatever skill you have, if you have one client, you're in business. You don't need any particular amount. You just need to find out what your particular bills are and make sure that you have enough clients to pay your bills. But there's what type of qualifications? It depends on what industry you're in. So the last person, they had a series of programming. And so for their industry, programming are the qualifications that they need. But for if you're coaching or if you are teaching, there may be certain certifications. So unfortunately, the question's a little bit general. So it depends on what your industry is in to say what type of qualifications you'll need. But you can do it. You can do it where you are. You don't have to implement it when you leave. In fact, implement your core group of clients where you are currently. You don't have to wait till you move. So don't ever think that. You can start your business right now, honey. Did anyone take any course boot camp to learn your job skills, or did you learn them at a 9 to 5?
Both.
I took courses. I did a ton of research online for digital marketing because it wasn't really a necessary course that I could have taken, but I just did the work. So that, guys, any profession you do, you have to have the experience so that you get better at it. So that's just basically your experience ends up being your boot camp. You know what I mean? What about you, Erika?
For me, I started learning on my own. Like, this is what I wanted to code. I wanted to design. So I think when I started, Paint was in existence. And it wasn't so much Photoshop. But I started learning my own. Then I went to college here. I got an associate degree. But for my field, I think your portfolio speaks for itself. And I think unless it's like a trade, like a doctor or mechanic or something where you really need to, have a degree, I think whatever it is, you can teach yourself that skill, and your portfolio is what's going to speak for you more than any degree or boot camp or anything. And I think boot camp and all those courses are great, but you got to have that passion to love what you do. You can't jump into web design or coding and just, I'm going to be an expert. This is something you have to live, sleep, and eat to become an expertise in.
Mm-hmm. Kia?
I've done both, honestly. Especially because I bounced around from different fields. You have to put in the hours no matter what you do. Every industry that you're going to be in is going to be constantly growing, and there's going to be more and more information and technology changes. So you're not working if you're not educating yourself in any way. Even if it's something that you feel is your expertise, you have to keep that information coming in. You have to keep fresh because people want to work with you. So you have to be ahead of the curve if you want to succeed.
I love that. Michael wants to know, would you recommend using a WordPress site for your online business? My personal opinion is absolutely yes. And Erika's going to tell you her opinion. I say yes because so as a digital marketer, you want to have control of everything in the back end. And they have some websites that you could build a website, but they don't give you full control of the back end of your website. The reason why that's important is because you want to be able to monitor customer behavior and what's happening. And that requires you to put a series of codes in the back end of your website so that if you know someone came there before, how long they stayed there, what pages they looked at, and all those types of things. And if you want to remarket to them later, you need that code there so that when you want to remarket to them, it's not as expensive. If you decide to do any type of online ads, if you want to reach a new audience, it costs much more money than you reaching out to an audience that you already told the internet we know each other. So if you told the internet, if you had a way of telling the internet, no, we good, we friends, we know each other, it won't cost as much to reconnect with them. But if it's a brand new audience, it's going to cost more. So I'll talk about how to market your business in a recession because that's your income. But a lot of that is having control of the back end of your website so that you can track people to know that these are your customers and you can kind of keep in touch with them. Erika, give your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I think WordPress is actually a good for your online business. It is a little challenging. I'll talk more about the technical aspect of it. It's great to use them, with all the benefits you have, like Cinnamon mentioned. It is harder to adjust to it because of the plugins, but it's I would recommend it. You can go to Squarespace, like Cinnamon said. you're limiting what you can do. You don't have control over your site, even if you do Shopify or Squarespace, whatever it might be, or Wix. Please don't use Wix, please. You're really limited in what you can do and really control your business. So if you want to, the important marketing, the plugins, and all those, have real control of your website, then yeah, I recommend taking the time to learn WordPress.
Okay. So in this question, again, another shameless plug, please attend the Moving Abroad Summit. Register and for that is down below. Because guys, as much as we love answering your questions, we are not going to be able to be on here forever and answer all of them. And again, when you move abroad, it's going to be a bunch of things you need to consider. And listen, you might want to do that. So again, for those individuals who just think it's a good idea and you just want to get more information and do more of like an educational interviews, go ahead and register for free. For those of you who are ready to pull the trigger, I do recommend you upgrade. Okay. So does having a college diploma affect the easeability of finding work, and which type of degree do you think will help you for moving abroad? Unfortunately, in my opinion, the question is a little bit general because it depends on where you're moving. You know what I mean? Like there's going to be certain job opportunities in certain countries that's not going to be in others. So you got to be a little bit more specific about which country you're considering. If you feel that you need to have a job when you move out the country, I'm biased. I'm going to tell you to convert your skill online because so much can happen. We see what happened with COVID, guys. Like if you were in the tourism industry, if you owned a bar, you know what I mean? Like you got hit. So you want to kind of figure out what you can do as individually yourself, so you can have control of that money so that you can move wherever you want to and you can still make an income. So I don't feel like there's a particular college diploma. It depends on what you want to go after. What are your thoughts on that, Kia?
Just from job hunting in different countries, they really want to see at minimum a bachelor's, but now more and more people are educating themselves, and that bar is going to go up to a master's in a lot of different fields.
Mm-hmm.
And it does make sense. In some countries, you can get away with networking. So I think having interpersonal skills also comes into play. Someone may hire you based on feedback from another person or a referral from another person if you don't have at least a minimum education, right? But it does set you ahead of other people, because in a lot of the countries where they don't have a lot of services or they don't have a lot of jobs that pay well, those people who have the education, they're either going to move to another country to find better employment, or they're going to get the cream of the crop for the job. So I do think if you do have the opportunity to educate yourself, and that's the field you really want to work in, it's absolutely worth it. And if you go abroad, it may be cheaper.
So. It is cheaper. Yeah. So even if you feel like you want to get like master's degree and all that, it's substantially cheaper abroad. And in some countries, it's free. So even if you don't have the diploma or the education you need, you can start to develop that. If you want to go, honey, you can go. Okay. Like don't let the people tell you different. Hello, Richard. Looking to move to Portugal next year, as having a great U.S. credit means nothing in Portugal. How hard is it to finance a car there? I don't think either me or Kia drive here, so I don't know how to answer that.
No, I don't.
No clue. Sorry, Richard.
They probably would most likely go based on your income. So they'll want to see those bank statements. They can go as far back as 6 months. And then they'll want to make sure you continue to have that income coming in. And that's because you won't have the credit that you would have in the United States. So if you can prove that.
No matter. It's so fun to learn that.
Yeah.
Love to see you at the summit, Galen. Thanks for signing up. Is it good to know? Okay. Hello, Jordan Spanish. You're coming late, but register for the summit. Thanks, Red. Can't wait to see you. Given where you live, do you think being American? This is a question. Carlos, given where you live, do you think being an American could be an advantage or a disadvantage? I think it depends on, well, I guess you're speaking specifically where we live. So I don't know if people care if I'm American or not. I don't know. I don't know. What do you think, Kia?
It depends on who you come in contact with. I do think people treat Americans a lot better than they
Or
would.
worse, depending on how they feel about the country.
It does. I mean, it's the truth. Happen. I've been in quite a few countries where they look at me, they see a Black girl, and sometimes they may have some type of discrimination against maybe someone who's African in particular. And then when they hear my English, they'll say, "Oh, you're American," and their attitudes will change.
Mm-hmm.
There could be some people that you bump into, they're just like, "Oh, you're American. No, go back home," you know? So you just never know. As long as people respect me and treat me normal, they give me food, I'm happy. That's all I need.
I think in South America, you definitely, when you have the American passport, you have the American accent, you are treated better and you are recognized as someone with money. So even
that might not be the case, honey.
Right. That's how they see it.
Right.
I mean, that's mainly for South America. I think Europe probably have a different view of America.
I'm sure. And I'm sorry for anyone who's from Europe. And if you feel any kind of bad way about Americans, I apologize. I get it. That's why I left.
It's not us.
Yeah.
Exactly what I love. So again, for those of you who need some extra help in regards to moving abroad and you're ready to pull the trigger, we do understand that there's some people that still may be toying around with the idea. Then we're going to have some great general sessions for you, just as some other things to consider before you kind of, pull the trigger. But for those of you who are ready to go, sign up for the summit. We have a bunch of different people, a lot of people that you met during the interviews. You're able to kind of speak and talk with them. But let me tell you the cool thing about the summit, because I was so pressed to do this. And thank you so much all for everyone who filled out the survey to help me kind of create this product to be is the best it can. It is 100% live, which is a little scary. The software we're using, you are able to do one-on-one networking. So you go into this virtual room and you and another individual get to speak for 3 minutes. It's like speed networking. You get to speak for 3 minutes, get to know each other. And if both of you want to connect, you just hit the connect button and it'll transfer your information so you can keep in touch.
Very cute.
So cool. The thing is, like, I see you guys' comments and your DMs, but I don't get to see your faces. So the good thing about this is we all get to be on camera and we're able to communicate. We're able to talk. We're able to do all of those great things together, like living, breathing, talking. So I'm excited about that. So we can have up to 10 video feeds in the breakout sessions. So the breakout sessions, what are you laughing at? What happened?
There's no swiping. It's not a dating app.
Oh. It's not a dating app, but I mean, but you get to network with other people, which is really what I wanted, because I feel like the community is such the big thing as it relates to moving abroad. And your community, although you want to develop a community in the country you move to, it's cool to have community with people who live in other countries as well. Because then if you visit, you can, have a good time and that type of thing. So that's the thing that I'm really excited with this summit, because it's 100% live. Lord, hoping all the software works the way I want it to. And it's just gonna be fun. I can't wait. I can't wait to like sit and talk to you guys. So the link is below for you to register for the Moving Abroad Summit. What you thinking, Erika? What you got to say?
I don't know if you mentioned it, it's going to be like over 22 expats, and they're all over the world, like everywhere. The Caribbean, the UK, like they're everywhere. So it's not just like New York, Portugal, Spain. Like it's everywhere. People in Germany. Where else? A bunch.
And many people have moved to multiple countries as well.
Yes.
So.
Also, what I want to say for those of you who upgrade, I was hoping Sandra was going to be on this call, so when you upgrade, you then going to register with the software that allows us to kind of like connect and that type of thing. And so I want to make sure that you guys, when you register, make sure you look at in your spam folders, because everything is going to come in email. And I want to make sure you're getting all the emails. So be sure to check your spam folders if you haven't heard from us, because we really are obsessive with keeping in touch. So if you have not heard anything from us, please, please, please check your spam folder to make sure that you got everything that you needed. Let's see, Serena, would the upgrade version of the summit suit only people from US or from people from other parts all over the world? So we have people that live in various various countries, not just the US. So, and so even a lot of them are the speakers that we've talked about and I've interviewed. And then we're adding some more breakout sessions periodically. So the interesting thing is that everyone's going to be in a different time zone because we're working with people who live everywhere and doing the most. So it is a 3-day summit, and some of the times are going to be wonky. But if you want to attend the breakout sessions, or you're getting the recording, you'll get the recording of all of it, so that if you can't attend at the time one of the instructors is going to be teaching, then you'll still have the recording. So yes, it's not just for people who are US citizens. I love it. I know, Suzette, I'm real excited about the connection bit, right?
I'm seeing some questions about traveling.
Okay, answer them because they're going fast for me. So what
I see some from Richard. It's really easy to get around Portugal in general without a car. I don't drive here, so you can take the train, you can take buses. There's also something that's really cool called BlaBlaCar, and it's basically like a long distance Uber. So you get a profile of a person, and then they're already going on a trip. Say they're going from central Portugal to North Portugal. You can say, okay, I want to join your ride, and you have the 2 profiles that meet. You kind of help them with some gas money, and then you meet them and you go. And it's all regulated. You get their license plate number, you get their picture, and it saves you a lot of money. And it's available in multiple countries. So even if you don't want to take the bus, the train, or the ferry, or fly, you can get around.
Awesome. So if we don't have any more questions, again, I heard you can book a car for one country. Yes, Kia comes and visits me in Portugal via a BlaBlaCar. So from Spain to Portugal, she's been able to come and visit me and hang out. So that's been awesome.
Okay. There be someone who has moved to Japan. I don't think Japan specifically, but I do remember seeing someone move to Vietnam.
I think there's one person I'm gonna reach out to about Japan. I'm gonna see if they can come on and teach a class yet. I just haven't I hadn't confirmed it yet. So far as Japan, not yet, but I'm working on it. Let's see, what is the name of the app again? Blah.
Yes, blah, like blah, 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 blah.
BLABLA. Blah. That's the app.
Right, Michael has it spelled correctly in the chat.
Okay, so let me find Michael's. Okay, here it is. All right, guys, so that's the way you spell it. So it's car?
BlaBlaCar.
Blah.
I feel like I'm cursing.
Okay, guys, so we're going to wrap this up in a bit. I hope we were able to answer some of your questions. Again, the main thing I want you to consider if you're moving abroad is developing that online income. And I will spend some time. I know a lot of my YouTube stuff is more about Portugal and visas and stuff, but I will spend some time pushing out some content about entrepreneurship and making money online. And I will be. Oh, so it's blah, no R. Mm-hmm. And then just Google it, and Google will, come up with it. So I will spend some time talking about, entrepreneurship and some ways to kind of make money online, because there's various ways. It just really depends on your industry. Because I don't know your industries, as I'm doing it, just put in the comments what your industries are, and then I can try to make something more specific to you. I will be teaching every single day of the summit in regards to that. So definitely sign up. Again, for those of you who are joining us late, we're doing the Moving Abroad Summit. And boy, I just want to take this time to thank these ladies for dealing with me.
I really love that Cinnamon is actually taking this step and creating, this summit. It's been really hard for her to do this, and it's just amazing that she's really bringing everyone together. So thanks, Cinnamon, for this.
No, I think y'all, listen, it was plenty of times I was like, I can't. The thing is, and this is what gets me more upset about the whole passive income crap, because it's not passive. Like, you have to do stuff. And the funny thing about, like I've heard about summits and people doing it. This is my first one, so hopefully you all will love it. There's so much back end tech that you have to marry so that everything works seamlessly. When I tell you,
tech doesn't work. Everything breaks every day.
So Jenny says sign up for the summit. Yes, Jen, sign up for the summit. Are there any blogs or any social media forum? What was that?
You can put it on the screen, then, like our social media. I don't know how that.
What was that? What was it called? Oh shoot! I didn't realize it didn't show that. Let me see. That's not what I want. It usually puts it up there, and it didn't. Probably because I've never had that many people on here at the same time. So I don't know. Is there a blog or another social media forum for any of you ladies? IG for me is Driven Spice. Erika, what's yours?
Oh, mine is so difficult to spell. Timmy's gonna put it down in the comments, but
right. If I put it right here, will it?
Let's see. You can type it.
I don't know. See, technology, y'all. I actually don't know your Instagram by heart.
That's okay.
We'll put it in the comments at the end. I promise. I'll put it in the description box.
It's Erika, ERECIA _ Odessa, ODESSA.
Okay. And what about you, Kia?
Oh, you guys are not gonna like me.
Kia changes her Instagram tag every 3 days.
No, this is the same. It's always been it. Okay. So
type it in.
QUIA _ Dusseldorf. So DUSSLDORF. I told you.
Listen, if you follow me on Instagram, I tag them both. So just find them through.
Yeah, we're all on Cindy's Instagram. I think even in the Insta story, did you find?
Yeah, you in my story. So just go ahead and follow them through there. How long will the recordings be available? The recordings, they're given to you. So after the summit is over, the recordings are delivered. You can have them as long as you want. Lovely to meet your friend, Cinnamon. Thank you, Jen.
One quick question. Please share those companies that are paying $30K a month. I work in the entertainment industry, so with SiriusXM or Fox or, so I work in music and entertainment. So those are the ones that are paying good money and those are the companies that are surviving now and not really doing layoffs because everyone is home watching TV or Netflix. So everyone's on TV. So entertainment industry always pays.
And then again, Pedro, you got to make sure that you have the skills to get said money. Like just because you want 30,000, you got to make sure what we were talking about earlier, where the people had coding degrees.
Right.
So if you code, you're good. But if you don't have the particular skill that they need, that they're hiring that type of money per month. If you have coding, it's something, a lot of them, you can get a lot of the certifications yourself. Someone mentioned Google AdWords. So for those of you who are interested in getting into digital marketing, Google has free certification. You literally just study it. Okay. And then you can get it. This is absolutely free. Google it. Okay. So if you were interested in getting into digital marketing, just start by Google's certification program. So that way, if you want to work with the industry or if you want to do it by yourself, you'll be certified. So you can put that on your resume, on your LinkedIn or what have you, and say, I am certified in Google AdWords. I'm certified in Google, because Google has a ton of digital marketing products. You can get certified in each one or the one you want to spend the most time in. And now you can present that to your employer and say, I'm certified in these areas. It is absolutely free. Google offers free digital marketing training with their specific products. So if you want to learn how to do Google Ads, get certified in it, it's free. Go check it out. Don't ask me about it. Just Google it.
Those for other languages, the Python, the Perl, like all those, you can get your certification in. And yeah, you have a wide range of skill set.
And a U.S. citizen live permanently in Portugal. You have to go through the process. You can get citizenship. U.S. and Portugal allow you dual citizenship. You have to get residency and go through the series of process. I think it takes about 6 years, but it is possible. Oh, that's so sweet. I think, okay, do you code or COVID? I don't even understand that question. I don't know if you're trying to be funny.
You coding or not?
I don't understand it. Are you asking if someone's a coder or okay? So okay, all right, 7. Appreciate you, folks. You know I love talking with y'all. So come to the summit. I would love to see y'all faces and chat with y'all and all that other good stuff. We would love to have you register. Again, if you do register, please look into your spam folder Again, we're going to have a general session that's a lot like this one for those who are, no, we said coding, not COVID. Yeah. We said coding, not COVID. The general sessions are for those of you who, let's say, moving abroad was like, I never thought about it. And we're going to tell you some things you should consider. And then for those of you who upgrade, you'll have access to the breakout session where we're really going to get into some things specifically. And I'll be teaching classes on entrepreneurship every single day of the summit. I will also be bringing you some content on this channel about entrepreneurship. I won't inundate everybody because I know some people don't care about it. But I just honestly believe, regardless of what country you live in, getting some extra money online can be helpful to anyone. You know what I mean? You don't have to go full force. You don't have to make it a career. You could just set up a couple things that can bring in a couple $100 or a couple $1,000 so that you can just feel comfortable, guys, because this stuff is not glamorous. I just want everyone to feel as prepared as you can be. You can't research everything about this. You'll learn stuff as you go. But, you know, when you don't have the money and you out here and you away from your family, that can put you in a bad situation. And I've been an entrepreneur for 20 years, good, bad, and ugly. Some years I did well. Some years I did really well. Some years I did crap.
Savings will go down.
So it's a ride. So you got to be okay with that. Wow, the sisters moving abroad are beautiful. You're so sweet. Thank you. I want to say, yeah, interesting. There are a lot of people moving, especially to Africa. There's a lot of people moving to Africa too. All right, folks. I feel like that's it. We've had a blast. And until next time. And if you have any questions, put them in the comments, and I'll try to answer them within reason, guys. Be reminded that I got job and work and clients and I can't.
I'm free today.
Yeah, so be kind to me, because just let me live. All right. Love you guys. Bye.
Bye, everyone.